Hello, everyone. So, you had this latest Simpson episode. I don't even remember what it's called because, oh my gosh, I should actually know what it's called. But either way, you have the latest Simpsons episode, and this Simpsons episode stretched the envelope a lot. And what do you mean by that? Is the fact that Kang and Kudos actually came within this entire episode. It's not even October, and yet they broke the envelope and went right into it. Given they did have Kang and Kudos in the Family Guy episode, but it makes sense because, well, they did have an alien in Family Guy as well. Well, technically American Dad, but still, they want to reference everything, and I can understand why they have it. But this one is brand spanking new in their own exact way. This one actually, I was okay with it. Yeah, with this whole entire episode, I was okay with it. The messed up part that the reason why I'm doing this video is because of the freaking, I don't even remember what they said in Survivor. What was it? The council? The voting council or some kind of crap? But anyways, so you had them trapped on Romulan 7. I think that's how you say it, Rom. Or Regula 7. Or I don't give a crap. What happened is this. So they had to have a vote. And the vote is for the person to get eaten. Now, here's the messed up point that I'm like, oh, no freaking way, this doesn't make sense. It's the one thing is that Maggie votes for her dad. And Maggie actually can draw now. But Maggie votes for her dad, but in previous freaking episodes and everything, Maggie is a daddy's girl. Meaning that she wouldn't have voted for freaking Homer. She actually most likely would have voted for, well, let's see, she loves Homer. She definitely loves Marge. I think Lisa is okay because Lisa took care of her. But Bart, on the other hand, it seems like, yeah, she would actually have voted for Bart. It makes sense. She would have voted for Bart. So when it comes to Lisa, technically, even though Homer wasn't there for her for most of stuff, and he wrecks stuff for her, you would figure there's like moments where she's like, you know what, but he's a decent dad anyways, and he was always there for me, even if some of the times, yeah. And then you have Bart, which Bart freaking screwed Lisa over so many times, it's not even funny. Like, for instance, it was because of Bart, her freaking saxophone got ran over by the street sweeper. Yeah. Bart took all the Malibu Stacy's heads out of all of her Malibu Stacy dolls. I think she did something to Snowball too at one point. And Bart screwed her over in a science fair. There's like lots of freaking things I can list how Bart actually should have been on her freaking vote. Yeah. As for Marge loves Homer. Marge time and time again forgives Homer and oversees Homer. So technically, when it comes to scanning, you would figure she would actually have voted for Bart too. Even though I guess I can understand she would vote for Homer too because, well, her kids come first, even though that shouldn't really be the possibility. Yeah, so you have all that. And then, of course, Bart. You know Bart would vote for freaking Homer. So, there actually should have been like at least a draw or something. You know? But, of course, Homer did the noble thing. Which, of course, I saw Homer vote for Bart. Which it makes sense. I mean, come on. Of course, I get it. It makes more sense that Homer was taken. The fact that Homer's the fattest one. Maybe if they ate Homer, they would actually be like, cool, we don't want to eat anymore. We'll forever be full. We will keep the rest of you. Yeah, some kind of crap like that. The ultimate sacrifice just to make sure that no one else gets eaten. But personally, I just say I don't believe the voting part of this. I don't believe it at all. I mean, Maggie's supposed to be a daddy's girl. Marge loves Homer and most likely would never want anything truly bad happen to Homer. While Bart caused so much trouble. And not only that, but if they would have voted Bart and Bart got eaten, you notice what happened to Bart when he went to military school. Everyone in the whole entire city celebrated. So it's kind of like, yeah, you would not only do a favor to yourselves, but the city of Springfield would be happy as frick. Not to mention that chances are Bart's freaking file is very, very long as hell. Yeah, while Homer's file, chances are, is bad, but chances are Bart beats his tenfold or so. So it comes to the point of being like, the voting is really, 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 really corrupted. Because not everybody would have voted for Homer to get killed. Maggie wouldn't have voted for that. Well, of course, there is the whole, but what about in a weird situation? At the situation, or at that point, you don't know what people would actually vote for or do. So it'll come to that craziness of where it's like, yeah, so that's why they voted that way, is because of the situation and all that stuff, and they're not thinking clearly and all that crap. Even so, I believe that at least Maggie would know not to freaking vote for Homer. Yeah. I mean, I would rather it not be an anonymous vote, that at least 3 people would have voted for Homer to get killed. Yeah, I would at least like that instead of being like, or heck, maybe Homer would have stepped up and said, I know Bart was supposed to be the one who get killed, and Bart's like, what? But Homer would actually take the sacrifice. Homer would actually say, you know what, I'm a big man. I'm a bigger man. I freaking sacrificed once before. I sacrificed that big fat fish for my marriage. Yeah, he captured a fish once that was very, very big, and it was, yeah. And Homer did many other things that he sacrificed for, so it's kind of like, you would figure it would be Homer who will most likely be the bigger man and say, yeah, I know that Bart should be the one who's getting sent in, but I can't do that. I'll just go there. But seriously, that episode really is very controversial to me, just for the fact of everyone voted for Homer except for Homer, which it makes sense who Homer would have voted for. Heck, I freaking would vote for Bart, because right now I still have Bart missing from my Lego collection. That bastard. So that's the real reason why I would vote for Bart even more. But tell me what you guys think. Do you believe that voting that they actually did, that actually is how it would be? Or it's just the fact of, well, you know what they had to do. You know what the writers had to do. The writers had to make it all about Homer, and since they had to make it all about Homer, everyone had to look like a bad guy, / technically made Homer look like a bad guy because he was the only one who actually voted for someone else. Well, at least the good news is that they actually at the end made fun, saying it'll be like this episode never happened at all. Which, I would be happy of that. I would be happy not to remember this episode, and when this episode do come on, I most likely will click. I mean, I have a right to, I love lots and lots and lots of freaking Simpson episodes, but there's like a small few that I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch this. Another one to actually just mention before I end this, it's just the fact of when Marge got a brand new dress. she got this designer dress for very cheap. And she kept on cutting it and cutting it and cutting it. But that's not really the messed up point. The messed up point was the fact of they were going to be in a country club. Instead of actually going in and... Yeah, I mean, they were actually going to be initiated in a country club. And instead, it was Marge and Homer who was like, you know what? Let's just go home. There's no chance that they actually would have accepted us. And they did. Which... Yeah. Just, yeah. Well, anyways, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.